You know, my favorite movie of all time is James Cameron's Aliens. I watched Aliens when I was a kid, and it has never gotten old for me. Sigourney Weaver was one of my favorite actors growing up, and Ellen Ripley was one of my heroes as a kid. I fucking loved every aspect of Aliens. The cast, the action, the suspense, the horror. I will never get tired of it. I will never feel like it's been overplayed. I will never feel like it's outdated. It is my favorite movie, bar none. And since the movie has come out, and since I have been cognizant of it, I have had to watch my favorite movie of all time get completely screwed over by every media that could possibly exist and by every person that could possibly get their hands on it, including Ridley Scott himself. Alien 3 is an abysmal hunk of horseshit garbage that ruined everything good about the second movie in about 30 seconds, to the point that I don't even consider the third movie canon, and I will vehemently deny its existence. Alien Resurrection may be a guilty pleasure of mine, but I make no qualms about the fact that this movie is fucking terrible. Aliens Colonial Marines was one of the worst video games I have ever played, and completely fucked with everything that had to do with the mythos and everything that was still good with it. Not since Alien 3 has something come around and screwed up my childhood even worse. And then Alien Isolation came out. A lot of people like it. I absolutely hated it. It was nothing but an Amnesia the Dark Descent clone with a xenomorph instead of whatever the hell that thing was that was stalking you. And now, I hear that Alien Covenant is horrific, and I'm going to have to see it and watch one of my favorite things get ruined again for me over and over and over again. Welcome to the real world, assbags. No matter what you love, it's always going to find somebody out there that's going to ruin it for you. That's going to want to put their own spin on things, that's going to want to get fucked over, that's going to go through several rewrites. There's always someone who's going to fuck you. And even in the RPG world, I find myself getting fucked again with the fact that Leading Edge Games got a hold of Aliens and made a game for it. I don't know if you can notice this or not. I don't exactly have high hopes for it. I'm going to put this one mildly. The games that are created by Leading Edge Games are often considered to be some of the worst RPGs of all time, and that shares a lineage with games that also feature prostitutes' asshole circumference in games like Fatal. Leading Edge Games, and led by the company's founder and rocket scientist Barry Nakazano, is often criticized for being one of the most overly convoluted, difficult gaming systems to ever be conceived. Their books are often considered to be more akin to math formula modules than anything resembling a game. Out of the games they have created, they have equations that include the square root of a firearm's barrel length to determine a shot, as well as promising mathematically accurate hit location charts, which determine flesh depth penetration that is cross-referenced with the armor value as major selling points. Bottom line, this is what happens when hardcore math nerds get a hold of an RPG. Leading Edge Games pretty much became the mecca of overly enthusiastic math nerds everywhere, while everybody else who did not get straight A's in advanced calculus or algebra pretty much just threw it out the window and went to find a better game. While there is a very small cult following to Leading Edge's Phoenix Command, the game that includes more charts than a sausage convention includes people with high cholesterol, you will find precious few people who will defend anything done by Leading Edge Games. See, this is what happens whenever things become a little too niche. Leading Edge Games was created in the late 80s, early 90s, when RPGs were still relatively young and experimental. So it really quickly became obvious that if you want to make a really good gaming system, then you have to make it with simplicity in mind, and you have to make sure that someone does not need a calculus book or a calculator in order to come up with the equations and solutions for the attacks. You know what the funny thing about this is? The game Aliens, done by Leading Edge, is probably the best game that the company ever produced. That's like saying you're the most noble Nazi in the Third Reich, but whatever, I'll take what I can get. This game is unplayable with its piles upon piles of spreadsheets, number crunching, and wording that has all of the passion and interest in the mythos sucked away by it by coming across as more as a 78-year-old Ben Stein reading tax law. Strangely enough, this is another instance where passion is a really big driving factor. Unlike Geist the Sin Eaters, where there's clearly not a lot of passion created by the creators, this person, Barry Nakazano and his team, had a lot of passion for math problems and spreadsheets and coming up with the most mathematically accurate way of playing a game instead of a game that was actually fun and immersive. Although one of the people that I do love that was on this team is right here, Tony Dennis. The person working on illustrations and graphic design. Tony Dennis, whoever you are, you had like the easiest job in existence, considering that the illustrations are just photos taken from the movie, as well as laying out the spreadsheets. Other than that, you had an easy fucking job. I wish I had that job. I get paid to sit there and stare at a blank screen. And thank God they are there. Thank God these still shots are there. It is literally the only positive I can say about the movie. This book actually has still shots that are not exactly seen in other areas, so you at least get to see a little bit more of the mythos and the creative process. The Aliens universe is ripe with stuff that you could build on. Even if you just take from Aliens, you have plenty of stuff that you could actually make a really great game out of. But no, there is only 1 to 2 pages that actually build on mythos, or really talk about the movie at all. The rest of it is numbers, is number crunching and formulas and how to use the formulas. There is little to nothing here. As a matter of fact, I can really only count 1 page that actually features the greatness of the mythos of Aliens that looks to be like a tax form that is about to be filed away, or an overly complicated mission document. That's it. In other words, these people didn't give a shit about the movie. They didn't give a shit about the mythos. All they cared about was their precious numbers, and that was fucking it. And don't even get me started on how all RPGs are like that. You are wrong. At least in every other RPG, they give you fluff, and they give you reasons to keep reading and keep exploring. Yes, you were learning how to play, but you were also expanding on the horizons of the game. The wording is such that you feel like you're learning, that you're building, that you're actually seeing how this world comes to be. Sure, even in games like D&D, there are spreadsheets, but there's still lots of interesting stuff there. This game is just a lecture on how to create a character and how to run a game in the most convoluted way possible. There is no joy. There is almost no mention of aliens in it. It is just numbers. You need to make a character, and that is it. You know, this game is like some sort of bizarre analogy that I'm just not picking up on. That you're taking all the complexities, all the world building, all the mythos, all the joy in role-playing games, and boiling them down to just a number, and written in a way that has absolutely no heart and no soul to it. You see, this is legitimately my 5-pound GRE prep book. 5 pounds, and this is more exciting than your game. You want to know why? Because whenever I picked it up, I wasn't expecting a game. I was expecting formulas, which are great. There's formulas in here to help me on a test, and charts, and whatnot. I don't want to see this shit, and this shit, and this shit in a game. I want to see a world. I want to see mythos. I want to see something that is not a GRE book. If I feel like reading my GRE test prep book instead of your game, then you have failed as game designers. Does this game suck? Oh god, yeah, it sucks. It is a black hole of suck. It sucks so much shit. It is so terrible. It is painstakingly boring. And the best part is that this is the best game from Leading Edge. And the reason is probably because there were people that were working on Aliens that licensed this stuff to them that said, hey, you know what? Maybe you don't need a math degree in order to play it, and actually force their hand to tone down the math and add a little bit of joy to it, but that's the best that you're gonna fucking get. If I could, I would give this game all the misses in the world. I would give it the holy square root of misses in this world. That way you all can quantify this bullshit. But no, I can't. So there you go. One miss in the column. And just another thing that has completely ruined my favorite movie of all time for me. I guess I'm going to go with GURPS then. Well, thank you for watching, and if you will excuse me, I'm going to go see Alien Covenant, probably cry myself to sleep, and finish this off. I'll see you later.
When you're in PC,
Let's rock!
when you depend on me,
To give you
weapons and
information for your journey and still you just know shit is trying to hurt me. Life's tough.
Game over, man.